Shalom, shalom. This is Obadiah Yasharala. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakach Kodash, to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, who are the leaders of the Israelite family, and rule well, whether you accept this or receive this or not. So, right away, I want everybody to check out this latest news, this news take, and this speech this Iranian's going to give. It's pretty interesting. So let's check it out.
Iran has dramatically escalated its stranglehold on the Strait of Hormuz, striking two commercial vessels that defied its warnings and declaring that no ship may transit the waterway without explicit Iranian authorization as oil prices surged past $113 per barrel. The two vessels targeted on Wednesday after they repeatedly ignored Iranian warning were the Express Rome, an Israeli-owned ship sailing under a Liberian flag, and the container ship Mayuri Nari. Iran's IRGC Naval Force Commander, Rear Admiral Ali Reza Tangsiri, was pointed in his message to both ship operators and Washington. Were the ships assured of safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz? This should be asked of the crews of the vessels Express Rome and Mayuri Nari, who today, trusting in empty promises, ignored the warnings and intended to cross the strait, but were caught, he wrote in a Farsi language post on X. The scope of Iranian restrictions was then spelled out by the spokesman for the Khatam El Anbiya Central Headquarters in terms that left no room for ambiguity. We will not allow even a single liter of oil to pass through the Strait of Hormuz for the benefit of America and its friends, he said, adding that any vessel or oil cargo belonging to the United States, Israel, or what Iran designates as their hostile partners is now a legitimate military target for Iranian armed forces.
The American Zionist enemies, due to their continuous defeats in their brutal and arrogant aggression against Islamic Iran and the psychological collapse of their army and foolish politicians, have resorted to empty rhetoric and delusional raving. We have repeatedly warned Trump, the pedophile master of the Zionists, and the Mossad organization, that you may start the war, but we will determine its end. The armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran, due to holding the initiative in the Strait of Hormuz, have no need to close it. Any closure of the Strait of Hormuz would be due to conditions that America and the Zionists have imposed on the world's nations. And of course, we emphatically reiterate and state that we will never allow even one single liter of oil. Any vessel that passes through the Strait of Hormuz for the benefit of the United States, the Zionists and their partners, and any vessel or its oil cargo belonging to the United States, the Zionist regime, and their hostile partners will be our legitimate target. Your strategy of concealing yourselves behind the neighboring nations of Islamic Iran and the Muslim populations of the West Asian region, and indeed of the entire world, has now become completely obsolete. The ploy of your cowardly army concealing itself within public spaces and the infrastructure of regional nations cannot save your forces from the quagmire in which they are trapped. And your vital centers and your bases, one after another, will burn in the fire you ignited and will burn again and again. We consider the blood of our martyred leader and the esteemed leader of the Islamic nation a definitive end to any inaction. Our policy of reciprocal strikes has concluded, and we will pursue a policy of successive strikes until your complete punishment and regret. Just for once, be honest, stop and stop acting like heroes and admit your defeat throughout American history. And since the ominous Zionist regime's inception, confess your wrongdoing with your own tongue. You have repeatedly referred to the presence of your warships in the waters of this region, and the one time you dared to advance, you were forced to retreat by Iran's missile power from the very first day of your aggression. We have been waiting for you to prove that your cowardly army is far too insignificant to ever be relied upon. You must understand this clearly. You will not be able to artificially lower the prices of oil and energy through any forced or superficial means. As the war expands throughout the region, we have already declared that you should prepare for oil at $200 a barrel, because the price of oil is directly dependent on the security situation in this region, and you yourselves are the primary source of all this insecurity. The powerful and highly capable armed forces of Islamic Iran will absolutely not permit the full repair and complete reconstruction of your utterly defeated and broken army. Our hands are full, ready to deliver more crushing and powerful blows, and in continuation of our previous enemy-shattering operations, we will avenge the pure blood of our martyred leader, our beloved nation, and the innocent women and children, those innocent angels martyred in Mainab from you.
The consequences for global energy markets have...
All right, so it sounds like Iran is not playing with America. I mean, America is acting like they can just bully people around, okay? They think they can just not listen. And this next article, or I think maybe I missed it, but they blew up, or they shot up a oil vessel that was from Israel. Okay, so they blasted a tanker. So let's keep on listening.
Been immediate and severe. Traffic through the strait, through which approximately 1/5 of global oil supplies passed before the war, has collapsed from an average of 76 tankers daily to a handful, with some days recording 0 crossings. Oil prices have surged past $113 per barrel, reflecting growing market fears of prolonged disruption to one of the world's most critical energy choke points. Iran's foreign ministry has placed responsibility for the crisis squarely on Washington, stating that the insecure situation and problems arising for shipping in the Persian Gulf are a result of the aggressive and destabilizing actions of the U.S. The United States has threatened military action to reopen the waterway.
Okay, so America's already threatened to attack Iran for closing the waterway. See, this is once again where the United States feels like they can go around doing whatever they want to people. They were the bully of the world, okay? And now this dude in the office now has been persuaded by this other dude that's in this little country over in the middle of the Arabs, right, to start this war, right? And I'm hearing in another report, they don't even know where that other dude is, if you know who I'm talking about. Benjamin, not a Jew.
But has struggled to convert that threat into operational reality. The U.S. Navy has told the shipping industry that escorts are not currently possible given the level of risk.
So escorts are not currently possible. Why? Because they put all their assets in one location?
Position that sits in direct contradiction to repeated White House assurances.
How do you get a brand new roof in Central Florida starting from only $5,995 at H&Sons?
The U.S. Navy has refused requests from the shipping industry for military escorts through the Strait of Hormuz since the start of the war on Iran, saying the risk of attacks is too high for now. According to Reuters, the refusal has been communicated directly to shipping and oil industry counterparts during regular Navy briefings, bluntly, consistently, and without a timeline for when the situation might change. This assessment sits in direct and visible contradiction to what the President of the United States has been telling the world. Donald Trump has said repeatedly in recent days that the United States is prepared to escort tankers through the Strait of Hormuz when necessary. When the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed...
I think it's going to be needed because Iran's not going to let up on that. They really ain't. America's angry, man. I mean, Iran is angry at America, and Americans act like it's a joke. Man, when I go around, I see Americans walk around like nothing going on. It's all good. But man, these prophecies, man, they're jumping right up in our faces, man. Everyone's seeing it, but they don't want to see it. And I notice another thing, man. A lot of these Edomites out here, they're either acting totally over the top nice, or they just ignore black men like me with a beard. They don't even want to talk to me, okay? And they feel in their spirit They feel it. This is their kingdom's coming down, man. Their empire's coming down.
We'll escort them right through, he said on Monday during a press briefing.
As we continue Operation Epic Fury, we're also focused on...
All right, I got to bring this out. Isaiah 3:11. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given to him.
Keeping energy and oil flowing to the world, and I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply, and if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever. If they want to play that game, they better not play that game. In the long run, oil supplies will be dramatically more secure without the threat of Iranian ships, drones, missiles, nuclear menace, or anything. So the Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe. We have a lot of Navy ships there. We have the best equipment in the world.
There he goes again. There he goes again, bragging. There he goes again, bragging. Let me go find this real quick. There he goes again, bragging. You know, it's like when you understand and you see it, you understand and you see it. This is Obadiah 1:3. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thyself among the stars, thy nest among the stars, Salakia, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay? All right, Esau? And one more thing, Esau. Check this out, Esau. I got to bring this out. Because you're proud, right? You're proud. But this is what the Lord thinks. Okay? This is what the Lord thinks. Okay. So proud. I would be ashamed to understand. Like Israel should be ashamed of their punishment and their slavery. You know, it's no time to be uppity. You got to humble yourself, people. Stay focused and stay humble in this world. Like they're saying, we got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. All right. I know sometimes you can get vexed. You want to slap the living cruddy out of somebody, but you got to stay wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. And I practice that as much as I can. So, you know, I get vexed all the time. You know, I want to just jump up and just, you know what I'm talking about, brothers. You know how we can get, amped all up, okay? So here's what I want to bring out real quick, Esau, okay? All that pride, right? So, no, I was wrong. I'm all pumped up too. But yeah, you got to stay, you know, stay in the spirit as much as you can, okay? So, I have loved you, saith the Lord. This is Malachi 1:2. I'll start at 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains in heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. Okay? But I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. And the people, Edomites, whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Okay? You talk proud, Mr. T, but you know what? You want to be a brontosaurus burger. All right, let's go.
Expecting for mines. Again, most of their ships are down at the bottom of the sea, but we will hit them so hard that it will not be possible for them or anybody else helping them to ever recover that section of the world if they do anything. In recent years, the regime and its terror proxies have launched attacks on hundreds of commercial vessels. We're putting an end to all of this threat once and for all, and the result will be lower oil prices, oil and gas prices, for American families. We've done that. We've done it. We brought it very low. This was just
Okay, so basically, they're to keep America living the way Americans live, which is with their nose up a hole, right? Arrogant ass pieces of shit, right? They got to go to other countries and oppress them. So you SOB Edomite over here can live like you think you're, higher than the Most High. All right, that's the problem with you proud devils. Okay.
it's an excursion into something that had to be done. We're getting very close to finishing that too. In the meantime, during this brief disruption, the United States is offering political risk insurance to any tankers operating in the Gulf. So we're putting up risk insurance. We'll perhaps go alongside of them for protection. We don't think it'll be necessary if it is. And if they do anything, the price will be incalculable. It will be so great that they will have wished they never did it, because you have to keep the straits flowing. With all of that, it affects other countries much more than it does the United States. It doesn't really affect us. We have so much oil.
Oh, really?
We have tremendous oil.
Okay, here we go. See, Mr. T is always bragging and always talking hype. And I think this was one of the things, besides the Most High tricking these people to be lowly, less, no wisdom, being Edomites, right? He always speaks so positively about America, but everybody else is so bad, right? That's the imbalance of America. They're not a balanced thinking country. It's all America. Nothing else about anybody else on the earth. But they have to go out to all the other, countries on the earth and steal their resources.
Gas, much more than we need. We have Venezuela now as our new partner, great partner. They've worked out.
Remember, they just kidnapped Maduro. Now we're talking about Venezuela as a great partner. Okay?
So wonderful. We're working with the administration, the president.
Puppet government again. He's putting in his own people.
And it's a massive source of oil, gas, everything. But we're in a very good position, but very unfair to other parts of the world, like China as an example. I mean, we're doing this for the other parts of the world, including countries like China. They get a lot of their oil through the straits. So we're doing this. We have a very good relationship with President Xi in China. I'm going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do, and very successfully, I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much peace. But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will escort tankers through the strait if needed. I hope it's not going to be needed, but if it's needed,
I think it's going to be needed, like I said.
we'll escort them right through.
The gap between that statement and operational reality widened further on Tuesday when Energy Secretary Chris Wright posted on X that the Navy had successfully escorted a tanker through the straits, a claim he subsequently deleted after it could not be verified. Iran's IRGC denied any such escort had taken place, with spokesperson Ali Mohammed Naimi saying that the claim was a complete lie and warning that our missiles and drones will stop any movement of the U.S. fleet and its allies. The White House attempted to hold the line. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters that naval escorts remained an option the president has said he will absolutely utilize if and when necessary at the appropriate time. But the gap between the promise and the Navy's own on-the-ground assessment was now publicly visible.
President Trump fully expected the rogue Iranian regime to try and disrupt the global markets. That's why President Trump and his energy team have been planning for this long before the strike and have moved quickly to address these temporary disruptions.
Oh, really? He's been planning this for a while, or him and Benjamin Netanyahu?
Thus far, the Trump administration has offered political risk insurance to tankers operating in the Gulf. The Treasury temporarily waived certain oil-related sanctions, and the Commander-in-Chief has offered...
All right, so I just wanted to give this last scripture. Okay, so this is Jeremiah 51:2. And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Iran, Russia, China, Gog and Magog, Iraq, Syria. Everybody's going to be against the United States, okay? So 3, and against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in a brigandy, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Okay, so it looks like we're in the beginning phases and is rapidly escalating to be the World War III, thanks to a couple of clowns that we got, well, they got in their office, and a couple of these people who think that they're the master race on this earth. And they go around just going to go shit on everybody and it's going to be okay. But it's not going to be okay. This is your last Trump, Edom. This is your last Trump, Edom. You're proud. I know some of you are saying, it's not us, it is y'all, okay? I don't give a god darn who you think you are. You're all guilty. Not one of you will be saved. Go read the book of Obadiah. Nobody wants to bring that out in church. Everybody wants to bring out Mark, Matthew, or Galatians, okay? They're scared of Revelation, that first chapter in Revelation. They're scared of Daniel 9 too. They don't want to bring that out in the Bible. They want to bring out the fun. And it's always about love. It's all love. You know, the Most High is balanced. He has love and hate. You can't just be all one thing. That's pure off balance. So Lord willing, I can make a video soon again. Keep your eyes open. Keep your head on a swivel. And as usual, I want to say on the end, all praise Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and Babal Babal.